Sago Lane exists today as a one-way lane, a part of Singapore's thematized Chinatown. It currently connects South Bridge Road with Banda Street. Drawing little attention, it acts as a barrier between the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and the adjacent car park. This humble stretch of street possesses rich layers of history and used to link major roads, the colonial community, and the realms between the living and the dead. The first records of Sago Lane can be seen in the 1822 Jackson's Plan. It is on the outskirts of the Chinese Kampong. Final in a series of streets connecting the South and New Bridge roads, it is named after the 1840s sago factory boom in the area. The typology of the shophouses, seen in historical photographs, shows the presence of a 5-foot way, placing their construction after the British Land Lease in 1843. The rear of the houses opens up to the then undeveloped space, allowing for efficient material movement and extension of workspace. This unique typology allows for their utilization as death houses and funeral parlors in the future, producing coffins industrially instead of sago flour. The infamous death houses emerged around the late 19th century. The upper floors become living space for the dying, while a funeral parlor takes up the ground floor. As it is inauspicious if they die in their homes, Chinese immigrants pay a small fee to stay in these houses. They are guaranteed a proper funeral when they pass away. Most of the sago factories have disappeared by the early 20th century. Chinese and Japanese brothels replaced them along Sago Street. Sago Lane became a jinrickshaw station, catering to the bustling entertainment district next door. Sago Lane was dubbed as the street behind Home Money, a famous brothel on Sago Street. The lane now caters to the dying and jinrickshaw pullers, the lowest of social classes, turning it into an urban ghetto. In the 1950s, the death houses were at their peak. Most of Sago Lane was converted into death houses or funeral parlors. Increases in population densities led to more patrons. Food stalls and mourners filled the ground floor, while the dying were cramped on the upper levels. Sago Lane can be divided into several zones. Kiosks selling funeral goods before the factory-like shophouses take up the western side. Food kiosks catering to famished mourners occupy the middle, while the eastern side is utilized for circulation and processions. The Cantonese now dubbed it the Street of the Dead. The environment of Sago Lane was inhumane. Eileen Chong portrays Sago Lane as a place of unacceptable conditions in her poem, highlighting the stench and diseases in the area. The death houses have also gained international attention. This article from the Milwaukee Sentinel reported an average of 70 patrons monthly per house. Thus, the newly elected government responded quickly and banned the death houses in 1961. Funeral parlors continued to function until 1975. Developments sprang up with Singapore's modernization movement. Sago Lane and its shophouses were demolished to make way for the new Chinatown complex in 1975. The plots of land have remained empty until 1997. The Singapore Tourism Board commissioned the building of the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple to blend into the area's atmosphere and offer events, activities, facilities for locals and tourists. The temple stands where the death houses once were, while surviving funeral parlors moved to the nearby Banda Street. Sago Lane once again takes the backstage as the road behind the bustling Sago Street and the monumental temple.